Hello and welcome to Kings Meadow, where a place in the Adobe Women's FA Cup quarter-finals is on the line for two teams who have a proud history in this competition and who are both in fine form. Five-time FA Cup winners Chelsea are unbeaten in 22 games this season and have won 21 of them. Sonia Bonpastor's side is 7 points clear at the top of the league, through to the League Cup final and into the Champions League quarter-finals. But their quadruple ambitions will be severely tested by twice FA Cup winners Everton today. The Toffees are rejuvenated thanks to a busy transfer window. France striker Kelly Gago has scored 3 in her 2 starts to date, and Wales international Hayley Ladd has bolstered the midfield. Former Chelsea defender Maren Mjelde joined from Arne Bjornar this week. She won 6 league titles and 4 FA Cups in 7 years with Chelsea. Chelsea's new arrivals have been on another level, but there's still no debut for Naomi Girma. The world record signing USA centre-back has a minor calf injury. Kira Walsh, though, does start today. 3 changes to the side that beat West Ham on Wednesday. Erin Cuthbert starts in midfield, with Lauren James and Katerina Macario getting the nod in attack. The Stuart Kanishkin, Guro Wrighton and Micah Hamano all drop to the bench. Former Everton centre-back Natalie Bjorn in the defence for Chelsea too, and Everton make 2 changes as in come Emma Watson and Maren Mjelde, the fans' favourite here in her time at Chelsea. She makes her debut against her former club. Eva Payne drops to the bench, Claire Wheeler drops out altogether. Lucy Hope scored when Everton shocked Chelsea in the 2020 quarter-finals. What a season for Chelsea. You wouldn't think they could do better than they did under Emma Hayes, but Sonia Bonpastor appears to have taken them to another level. Is the quadruple on, something that only Arsenal have done back in 2007. No one's done it in the WSL era. Everton, wow, they shocked Chelsea in the quarter-finals in 2020 on their way to being runners-up in that COVID-delayed cup final against Manchester City at an empty Wembley. But what a start to 2025 they have had. New look side really now. 7 in the starting lineup today, joined either last summer or in January. I think only Chelsea have had a better January transfer window than Everton. The 2 captains, Lucy Hope of Everton on the right, Millie Bright of Chelsea on the left of screen. Chelsea all in blue, Everton in their away strip. It would be a real shock if Everton were to win here today. Extra time and penalties if needed. But they'll certainly come here with greater confidence than they had when they met in the league earlier this season. Chelsea winning 5-0 on that day. I think it's going to be closer this afternoon. Everton looked so good against Leicester last weekend. Kelly Gago has just brought them a whole new dimension. Tony Payne too, who signed in the summer. She's still looking for her first goal, but the way she played last weekend, 2 assists, it's almost as though Kelly Gago's arrival has given a different dynamic, a different dimension to her game. Players take the knee to highlight there's no room for racism in football or wider society. And Myra Ramirez gets proceedings underway. Chelsea still firing on 4 fronts. Drawn against Manchester City in the Champions League quarter-finals to come. Bright start from Everton, looking to try and create the first opportunity, and they have a throw-in. The full Chelsea line-up: Hannah Hampton in goal, Ashley Lawrence, Natalie Bjorn, the former Everton player, Millie Bright, the captain, and Niamh Charles, once of Liverpool, across the back line. Erin Cuthbert back in midfield, and Kira Walsh alongside her. Johanna Ritten-Kaneryd, Katerina Macario and Lauren James in support of Myra Ramirez. appears to be a 4-2-3-1. Everton setting up 4-4-1-1, it would look like. Courtney Brosnan in goal. Lucy Hope, Maren Mjelde, the former Chelsea player. Martina Fernandez, summer's January signing on loan from Barcelona. Sarah Holmgaard across the back line. Emma Watson on loan from Manchester United for the rest of the season. Hayley Ladd signed from Manchester United alongside her, and Hanoka Hayashi. Kelly Gago out wide on the left. It comes across and it's onto the roof of Hampton's net. Katja Schnois in support of Tony Payne up top. As we look again at the cross from Gago, which drifts behind. Everton beat Tottenham 2-0 in round 4 to make it into this 5th round, the last 16. Chelsea were 4-0 winners here against Championship outfit Charlton. Myra Ramirez scored the opener on that day, 5 minutes before the break. There was a Guro Wrighton penalty deep in first half injury time. Aggie Beaver-Jones early in the second half, and Niamh Charles on her return from injury got the 4th for Chelsea that day, and Chelsea have a free kick here. Everton's goal scorers were Kelly Gago with her first for the club, and Heather Payne late on when they beat Tottenham. James with an early touch, back to Cuthbert, who receives it again. The Scotland midfielder on the ball here. Cuthbert across to Bjorn, joined Chelsea from Everton last January. Ashley Lawrence. Sonia Bonpastor going with the same back line as she went with on Wednesday night against West Ham in the League Cup semi-final. Chelsea won 2-0 in midweek to book their place in a 6th consecutive League Cup final. But it won't be Arsenal this year. Arsenal have beaten them in the last 2 finals. They'll be facing Manchester City at Pride Park on March the 15th. So they're through to 1 cup final. They're almost certainly going to win the WSL, you'd imagine, from the commanding position they're in, having only dropped 2 points all season, winning 12 games and drawing 1-1 with Leicester back in December. Champions League will be tough, of course. Manchester City in the quarter-finals. And the FA Cup competition they last won in 2023, beating Manchester United 1-0 in the final. Knocked out in the semi-finals last year by Manchester United. Lawrence with the throw-in. Canadian fullback. Signed from PSG back in the summer of 2023, did Ashley Lawrence. Lauren James on the ball again. Gago lays it off to Hayashi. Lovely goal from Hayashi last week against Leicester 2. Before Christmas, that looked like a relegation battle, Everton against Leicester, but such as Everton's form been. But here's Ritten Kaneryd, tries to pick out Ramirez. Back to Kaneryd. She lays it off to Cuthbert. Short to Walsh. What a signing, Kira Walsh, eh? Lawrence with the cross in, deflects behind off of Hayley Ladd. Everton's new arrival for a Chelsea corner. I mean, the rest of the WSL must have looked at that transfer window. Chelsea having been nearly flawless in the first half of the season, and they splash out a world record 900,000 on Naomi Girma, and then a fee not far short of that for Kira Walsh. Macario with the corner for Chelsea as they look to strike early. In it comes towards the penalty spot, and it'll be picked up by Bjorn. Plays it back to Lawrence, and she picks out James. James with a high hanging cross, headed on and into the arms of Brosnan. First real effort. Charles with the header. Brosnan now the regular #1 for Everton. Had a battle on her hands in the early days after signing back in 2021 from West Ham. But has started every WSL match. James is impeded and wins Chelsea a free kick. Charles does really well, but Hayashi wins it back for Everton and gets distance on the clearance, but it will be picked up by Chelsea, who will come again, as expected, having the greatest share of the ball in these early exchanges. Lawrence keeps it in. Right to Bjorn. Whoosh. Charles back to Macario. Macario with the long cross in, and Brosnan came. Got distance on the punch, but it's picked up by Lawrence. Bright with the ball in. Headed down by Ramirez. And Yeld just lets it go behind for the goal kick. Brosnan will now need attention. Maren Yeld was such a favourite here with Chelsea in her many years, 7 seasons at Chelsea. Everton's new #3 signed this week. Norway's captain still. She's 35 years old now. She'll bring great experience. See Brian Sorensen's side. The team transforms. They had only scored 7 goals before Christmas, Everton, in all competitions. They've scored 6 since. I mean, 4 of them came last week against Leicester. 2 against Tottenham in the FA Cup, 4th round. But Brian Sorensen, who's had so many injury problems ever since he arrived at Everton, really finally has greater strength and depth to his squad, thanks to the dealings last summer and then again in January. Luana Ribadera, on loan from Chelsea, not eligible today to face her parent club. And with that bit of breathing space now in the WSL table, you just wonder if they'll fancy a serious crack at this competition, Everton. Certainly if they were to beat Chelsea today, then they would think they could beat anyone in this competition. James's touch is heavy, but Everton give it away. Chelsea come again with Walsh to James. James takes on Hope and gets a low shot in. Brosnan beats it away. And Yelder completes the clearance. Charles to James. Schnoitz got an important touch. It finds Gago, who lays it off to Payne. Still Payne tries to pick out Gago, and it comes back to the Nigerian. A wayward pass, and the flag was up for offside anyway. Promising opportunity. Peters out and comes to nothing. Everton are now 7 points clear of bottom place Crystal Palace in the WSL with 9 games to go. Palace with just 6 points from the opening 13 games. Leicester, the team above them, on 9 points. So that game last week at Walton Hall Park was so crucial. It really gave Everton the chance to open up a bit of a gap. Villa on 10 points, West Ham 11, and then Everton in 8th place on 13. You'd imagine with 4 teams below them and a 7-point cushion to the bottom spots, that's going to be enough. 13 points has generally been enough to keep a team in the WSL. They won't be resting easy yet, of course. But the work they've done just before Christmas and this side of the winter break has put them in a much more comfortable position. That surprise 2-1 win they had at home to Manchester City back in mid-December. Lucy Hope and Hanoka Hayashi on the score sheet that day was pivotal, the moment really that's turned their season. Here comes Payne again. Still Tony Payne. Hayashi surging into play, so is Gago. Gago was a little late to arrive, really. Payne carried it forward with such pace, and Hayashi and Gago hadn't managed to get into an advanced position. She didn't have the options, and by the time they arrived, it was too late. But just another sign again of the threat that Everton are capable of carrying now. Martina Fernandez, the Everton number 5, looking so comfortable in that Everton backline too. Started 3 games in the WSL this season. Vicario for Chelsea. Ritin Kanarit back to Bjorn. Vicario to Cuthbert, returns it to the American. She spreads it out wide to Charles. James with the first time ball in. Comes back to Charles. She rather shins of that effort to bring it under control, and it's behind for an Everton goal kick. Quarter of an hour played, still level terms. Chelsea bossing the possession. Everton looking fairly comfortable against pretty much the toughest draw you're going to get in the FA Cup, away to Chelsea. Shot off and it flicks up and behind. Watson took the shot on. It was worth a hit. And the Scotland teenager, still only 19, on loan from Manchester United. Had a couple of substitute appearances in the WSL since joining in January in the starting lineup this afternoon. Emma Watson. And Everton have an early corner. But right across and into the far side of the net. Oh, it's an Olympico. Sarah Holmgaard gives Everton a shock lead direct from the corner. What a moment for the Toffees. It drifted over the head of Hampton and nestled in the far corner. And rejuvenated Everton have taken an early lead at Kings Meadow against the run of play. Well. How did Chelsea respond to that? They're not used to conceding goals. You have to work very, very hard to get the ball into the back of Chelsea's net, but Sarah Holmgaard made it look so easy. Straight in from the corner. Schnois. Back now with Bright. Well, probably the best start a neutral could hope for in this game. Chelsea very much the favourites, as they are in pretty much every game, certainly on a domestic basis. Well, they have an Everton lead, slender though it is to chase down here. Plenty of time though. James takes on Hope and gets the cross in, and it comes all the way through. What a save from Brosnan. Johanna Ritten-Kaneryd with the downward header. And Courtney Brosnan's reflexes razor sharp there as she palms the ball behind for a Chelsea corner. Chelsea corner in towards Charles. Charles on the volley. It's behind, and Everton have a goal kick, and they have to, Everton, see out the next few minutes, keep their composure, get themselves into a position where this really is a lead to defend, rather than one that is taken away from them instantly, which we do often see happen. Chelsea's so rarely behind this season, and Brosnan took a bit of a risk there. Ladd was aware of what was happening and laid it off briskly. Sarah Holmgaard was on target in the 2-1 defeat at Tottenham back at the start of December. But that Olympico goal direct from the corner, her second goal of the season. Chelsea on the charge, but it flicks up off an Everton boot and through to Brosnan. Sarah Holmgaard is so strong from corners, in an assisting sense usually, on the ball again here, but to score from one, it is more common in the women's game than the men's, of course, largely because of the average height of a goalkeeper. Remember Katie Zellum getting 2 in one game against Leicester in a WSL match a few years back. But it's always stunning to see, because it's a relatively rare occurrence. Of course, we did see it in the men's game this season. Son Heung-min of Tottenham against Manchester United in the League Cup. Walsh, Macario. Lawrence. Lawrence gets the crossing towards the far post. Brosnan does get a touch, but it's played back in and flicks up off an Everton body for a Chelsea corner. Well, it's in fact gone straight behind for Everton goal kick. Payne holds off Charles. Walsh wins the header, but it drops to Watson. She sprays it inside to Martina Fernandez. But Chelsea win it back. Macario. Walsh out wide to James. James low into Walls. She was hoping that Ramirez would be on the same wavelength, but the ball was too far advanced of the Colombian, and it's comfortable for Brosnan. Holmgaard, the goal scorer, to Hayashi. Yelder. Martina Fernandez to Holmgaard. Holmgaard tries to pick out Gago, but Bjorn with the clearance. Everton throw, which Holmgaard will take. Chelsea free kick. This is only the fourth time Chelsea have found themselves behind all season. First time at home that they've trailed. Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd tries to lay it off to Ramirez. Cuthbert wins it back. Schnois with the hacked and hurried clearance. Macario turns really well. Katarina Macario, lovely layoff to James. James works for him for the shot. Brosnan fumbles but gets there at the second attempt. Well, that was lovely footwork from Lauren James. Brought it back inside Hope. Smashed the shot goal. It was too hot to handle for Brosnan on the first go, but she quickly smothered it. Chelsea were behind for just 6 minutes against Celtic in the Champions League. Oh, it's given away here. Ramirez turns. Oh, Brosnan, what a save from Courtney Brosnan. Made herself so big. And Ramirez wins the loose ball. Holmgaard gets some distance on the clearance, but it drops straight to Lawrence. She lays it inside to Bright. Charles. Macario with the layoff to Walsh. James back to Cuthbert. Walsh. Cuthbert spreads the play. Lawrence, left-footed low ball in, it's cleared. Mentioning the very few occasions Chelsea have been behind this season. 6 minutes against Celtic, 57 minutes away at Leicester when they got a 1-1 draw in the end. And they trailed Real Madrid for 44 minutes. But other than that, they haven't been behind until today. This is the first time on their own turf. Lawrence flicks up off of Holmgard and behind for a Chelsea corner. Well, this is a day when you're going to need your goalkeeper to be on top of her game, and she has been. Courtney Brosnan, 2 really good saves this afternoon. One little awkward moment when the James shot nearly got away from her, but she hung on to it in the end. Hayashi prevents the corner, smashes it out for the throw-in. Bjorn. James to Macario. Free kick goes Everton's way. It's the ultimate test for Everton, because obviously everywhere you look in the Chelsea team they carry a threat. 17 different goal scorers they've had across the various competitions this season, and then when the limbs weary later on, they had the likes of Aggie Beaver-Jones on the bench, Shuka Nushkin, Guro Wrighton, Sandy Baltimore, Orion Jean-Francois, Vika Kaptein, who scored that late equaliser at Leicester with a pile driver from just outside the box to rescue Chelsea a point that day, the only match they failed to win in any competition all season. So it's a long, long way to go for Everton to defend this lead against such talented opponents. But my oh my, they've worked themselves into a commanding position, as commanding as you can hope for away to Chelsea, to take an early lead. You have to make your chances count, and it was really, well, it was only a half chance. They made their corner count. Sarah Holmgard scoring direct from it. But Cuthbert has space here for Chelsea. Tries to find Ritten Kanner as she rather ran into Schnois, but she's gone down. Play continues. Macario with the cross in, headed away. And it'll be picked up by James, who might just think about letting it go out for Ritten Kanner, but she instead floats the ball back in all the way through to Brosnan, and Kanner is back on her feet, hobbling out of the Everton penalty area, but she's going to be okay. Strong run out of defence by Fernandez, but Ramirez hassled her, and unfairly, says referee Amy Ferns. Free kick to Everton. Half an hour played at Kings Meadow. Everton hold a shock lead. That's the Sarah Holmgaard's corner, which went straight into the back of the net in the 17th minute. Schneutz. Back to Martina Fernandez as she rolls it back to Brosnan. Brosnan picks out Watson, but there was too much pace on the clearance and it bounces off of Watson's midriff and out for a Chelsea throw. Everton, like most teams, don't have a good recent record against Chelsea. That 2020 delayed COVID quarter-final in September 2020, their last win against Chelsea. Lucy Hope was on the score sheet that day in a 2-1 win. Ramirez looked to let it go and turn, but Martina Fernandez read it and stayed goal side. Chelsea have won 11 in a row against Everton since that 2020 quarter-final, scoring 39 goals, only conceding 1 before today, and that was a Buchanan own goal in a 3-1 win. So in fact, before Sarah Holmgaard scored from that corner this afternoon, the last Everton scorers against Chelsea were Lucy Hope and Valerie Gauvin in that September 2020 quarter-final. If you look at the WSL head-to-head, Chelsea's last failure to win against Everton was 16 games ago, more than 6 years ago when they drew 0-0 in September 2018. And I think you can look at this really, given the strength of both lineups, as if it's a WSL match. It's not like Chelsea have put out a cup team, so to speak. I mean, you wouldn't expect them to when they're taking on fellow WSL opponents. It's pretty hard, really, to work out what Chelsea's strongest lineup is. I'm not even sure Sonia Bonpastor knows for sure, because she just has so much talent at her disposal. She can ring the changes in pretty much every position without hindering the quality. Here's Lawrence, and Lawrence takes a tumble, and as referee Amy Ferns pointed to the spot, she has. It's going to be a Chelsea penalty. She says there with the signal that Lawrence's shirt was pulled as Lawrence surged into the area. Millie Bright picks the ball up, but Erin Cuthbert is standing on the spot. Guro Wrighton usually takes the penalty. She's on the bench. Kat Macario has taken a couple too this season. It is going to be the American. Well, it certainly looked as though the infringement was strong enough to understand why Amy Ferns has pointed to the spots. And Kat Macario to step up against Brosnan, who's had a magnificent afternoon so far. Can she deny Chelsea again? Macario just squeezes it home to bring Chelsea level. And Brosnan went the right way and wasn't far away. Kat Macario has her 6th goal of the season, her 3rd from the spot. Chelsea are back on level terms. They're not used to being behind. They trail for around 18 minutes. It's 1-1 at Kings Meadow. Cuthbert. Back to Bright. Lawrence, who won the penalty. Bjorn back to Hampson. Strong challenge from Martina Fernandez, but Lawrence is on the charge again, and she's got Ramirez to her right and lays it off to the Colombian. Ramirez pulls it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Hope does really well. Chelsea have the bit between their teeth now. Lucy Hope, great positioning by the Everton skipper. Flicks up towards the edge of the area, drops down. Ramirez attempts to get on the end of it. Bright with the header back in. Brosnan claims comfortably. On to Bright. Bright to Charles. Cuthbert loses out. Hayashi picks it up for Everton. Picks out Payne. Payne's got space down the right-hand channel. Gago moves into the 6-yard box, and it's behind off of Bright for a corner. Well, we saw what Sarah Holmgaard did from here last time, back in the 17th minute. Well, I talked about Katie Zellen once doing it twice in a game. I wonder if Sarah Holmgaard fancies a crack. She hit that one so well. I'd expect it's going to be another in-swinger, and whether it gets a touch or just bamboozles Hampton again, we'll have to see. Holmgaard, a lot of height on it this time, in fact, way beyond the back post. But Everton do have another corner. Hope was the target. She headed it against the Chelsea defender. Hung up towards the far post once more, and the whistle's gone for an infringement. Pull on the Chelsea shirt, and Amy Ferns gives the hosts a free kick. Ball was moving, she says, have to be taken again. And 4 minutes plus added time until the break. Everton will be determined to make sure they get to the interval at least on level terms. Ramirez loops it out to Ritinkarnarid. She touches it off to Lawrence. Oh, lovely ball from Lawrence, because she knew that Ritinkarnarid had the ability to get to it. But Everton defend. And Chelsea have to make do with a throw, which Lawrence will take. Macario. Bjorn. Bright. Cuthbert to Charles. Charles takes on Hayashi and gets the cross in. And Brosnan clutches it out of the air and looks to get Everton quickly on their way. Macario prevents her from doing so. Carnerid, the layoff to Ramirez, quickly knocks it back to Macario. Charles to James. Short ball to Cuthbert. Walsh. Walsh whips it out to Lawrence. Lawrence to Ramirez. Ramirez takes it beyond Holmgard, low cross in, and Holmgard on the turf, swung out a boot to prevent Ramirez picking up the loose ball. Chelsea corner, Macario, the goal scorer from the spot, to take it. Chelsea strike a decisive blow just before the break. Headed back in by Charles. Ramirez with the touch, but it's behind. The whistle's gone anyway. Schnois is down. Holding a right shin. She's back on her feet. Katja Schnois. She's got a couple of goals to her name this season in the WSL, has Schnois, the Dutch forward. One of them from the penalty spots. Goes all the way through to Hampton. Right. Oh, lovely pass. 3 minutes of added time to play. Lawrence with the layoffs to Carnerid. Loose ball from Holmgard, picks up by Walsh. Ramirez holds it off and allows Cuthbert to shuttle her way through. Back to Lawrence. Macario to Carnerid. Carnerid keeps it in and knocks it across to Ramirez. Yelder scrambles it away, drops to James. Bright with that trademark floated ball into the box. On this occasion, though, failed to pick out a teammate and all the way through to Brosnan. Brosnan, who made 2 wonder saves in this first half and wasn't far away either from Macario's penalty. Lawrence, who won that penalty, tries to pick out Macario. Ramirez on the chase, and Brosnan's out of position, and Ramirez lobs it over her. And what a finish from Mayra Ramirez. Well, as it dropped to her, you just knew she had the ability to do that. And Brosnan's heart must have been in her mouth. because she'd have known what was coming too. What an exquisite finish from the Colombian. Absolutely weighted it to perfection. And Chelsea, as they did against Celtic, as they did against Real Madrid, have come from behind to lead. And on this occasion, they've taken that lead right on the stroke of half-time. Cruel, cruel blow for Everton. But that was a delightful goal, a delicious lob. It was his 7th goal of the season in all competitions. Joined a year ago from Levante. Chelsea have struck twice in just over 10 minutes. Turn a deficit into a lead. And Amy Ferns blows the half-time whistle. What a first half we've had at Kings Meadow. Thoroughly entertaining game. Kat Macario with the penalty that pulled Chelsea level before Ramirez's fine lob to give them a lead just before half-time. But Everton have shown they are made of stern stuff these days, and Sarah Holmgaard, well, it's always quite something to witness. An Olympico, a goal direct from the corner. And as the players head in, we can have a look back at the key moments from that first half. Chelsea bossed proceedings, early header in, which Brosnan saved well, and this was a Holmgaard corner all the way through to give Everton a shock lead in the 17th minute. Lauren James to counter it, and what a save that was from Brosnan. She wasn't finished yet, the Everton keeper. Quickly out to smother Ramirez's efforts. And the penalty given when Lawrence got away from Watson. Looking at that again, I think Watson pulled her just outside the box. Penalty given, Macario took it expertly. 3rd time she's been successful from the spot this season. Now, I think potentially it was a foul, but I think Watson made that contact outside the box. And what about this? 2nd minute of added time at the end of the first half. Ramirez knew that Brosnan was slightly out of position and lofted it over the Everton goalkeeper to give Chelsea a half-time lead. Do please join us again for the second half. Half-time at Kings Meadow. Chelsea 2, Everton 1.
Olsen, oh yes.
And the tunes fall in. Williams! Tremendous from Toon!
Swept in behind and on the run, here goes Garcia. She manages to get the wrong side of the Newcastle defence, but she can't pick out Paris. Here comes Toon, lovely effort on goal, and a fine strike from the England international. It's taken a while, but Manchester United do have the vital goal here and they lead against Newcastle. Well, when they needed some inspiration, a flash of brilliance arrives. Toon again, fizzes in the cross, and Manchester United have goal number 2. This time it's Nikita Paris who's there, and Toon is the provider. A brilliant ball, right where she wanted it, and Nikita Paris did the rest. Lovely turn by Jace. He is so good in tight positions like that. Tisia's cross, and it will drop here for Garcia to feed through, and Nikita Paris does have her second goal after having one cancelled out at the end of the first half. This one will stand, and it was an easy finish for Nikita Paris. Mary Earps has been something of a bystander in this second half, not had too much to do. Breaking away on the right, Mallard, low cross in is a good one as well. Galton into Williams, who rattles the frame of the goal, and on the follow-up makes sure. The quickest to react as the ball bounced off of the post. Rachel Williams up at the bench to make it Manchester United 4, Newcastle 0. There's the flick onto the front post. The corner delivered in, just where Mallard wanted it, and goal number 5 arrives for Manchester United. An emphatic win for Mark Skinner's side.
United on the attack again. Here's Toon. And there is the goal from Ella Toon, a magic player who, when you gift her any space and that amount of time, is always going to look to hit the back of the net. A sumptuous strike, hit sweetly, and Manchester United get their lead. The quality United would have liked, but players like Ella Toon on the pitch and Leah Galton, he takes one moment of magic as Galton produces the cross, and the header comes in, and it is the super sub, utilising all of her experience when it is needed the most for Manchester United, who regain their lead. Good play from Galton, charging towards the byline. That is an exceptional cross, and the way that Rachel Williams has hooked to the end of it, sandwiched between 2 centre-backs, rising highest from these set pieces. The aerial threat that she possesses is a player that Zelen will look to pick out, and she does so again. The ball has crossed the line, and Rachel Williams gets her second and Manchester United's third, all but wrapping up progress to the quarterfinals for last season's runners-up. It looked at first glimpse that the ball had crossed the line. Perhaps there's appeals as well for the manner in which Rachel Williams was caught in a bit of a wrestle with her marker.
Zelen can have another go with the left foot. Oh, it's a lovely ball as well, and the header's in for 1-0 to Manchester United. Millie Turner, and it's taken just 8 minutes for the first goal of this quarter-final. Beautiful ball in from Zelen, and Turner attacking it at the far post. Toon touched off for Mallard. Here's Paris, can she find the finish? Yes, she can. 2-0 United. Nikita Paris doubles the lead, and Brighton are in big trouble here. Here's Mallard. Toon in space. He's just behind her. Back to Mallard again. Off the post and in for 3. Right on half-time. I think Lucia Garcia will claim that. Melvin Mallard not quite sure. She wants it. Garcia with a wry smile. Back in toward Mallard. Good header to get it away. Back in from Toon. Here's Mallard again. And Nelson. Nelson! Oh, yes. And that seals it. Manchester United are going through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup again. Lisa Nelson with a thumper. That makes up for her shocker of a miss in the first half. That was a fine finish.
out on towards Galton. Oh, Perisset's made a mess of that, and Galton's onto it. Lucia Garcia in the middle. Galton looking for her, finding her, and Lucia Garcia finds the net for Manchester United. Mark Skinner's side ahead, inside of the opening minute. What a start for United. Bad error from Perisset, pounced upon by Galton. Still had work to do though. Excellent cross, inch-perfect header from Lucia Garcia, and Manchester United are off to a flyer. Toon, Roy Polk's in attendance. Toon, and still, Ella Toon's ball in. Williams! Manchester United double their lead. Rachel Williams with the header. And again, it's come from that left-hand side for United. Toon robbed Leupolz and then lifted it towards Williams, who got in between the two Chelsea defenders and buried the header. United in charge. Charles has guided that to Guro Wrighton, who's given it back to Niamh Charles, who's got the wrong side of Lucia Garcia, and pops it back to Lauren James, who slams in to reduce Chelsea's deficit to 1. Great stuff this between Niamh Charles and Guro Wrighton. They got the jump on the United back line, and James, no one picking her up, and she was never going to miss that. Chelsea back in the equation right at the end of the first half. Into Ella Toon. Room to work with here for Ella Toon. And still Ella Toon. Oh! Tremendous from Toon to give Manchester United the lead in the cup final with a cracker.
Not far inside, well, I think it's just inside the Spurs half. No one's there to close her down. Spurs are too expansive. Suvanen slides in. Wow, wow. The ball's outside the width of the goal until it just curls back round at the last second. That is exceptional. I think a goal like that is one that you absolutely want to score in an FA Cup final, that's for sure. And that's a magnificent finish, and it's a reflection of the quality that someone like Ella Toon really has.
United's all-time top scorer and appearance maker.
And obviously she'll feel disappointed.
In it goes from Zelen. They're queuing up again, and it's number 2. And this time, Rachel Williams has used her head to find the net. Passed up a few chances before the interval, but has now put Mark Skinner's side on the brink of an FA Cup final victory.
It's excellent delivery. Zelen puts it into an area so consistently well. I think it's probably a good job Millie Turner doesn't go for it, because I think she would have been offside, but it's floated in.
One in the semi, one in the 4th round, one in the 5th, and here's another for United, and that is the FA Cup in the bag for them now. Lucia Garcia and Tottenham Hotspur are falling apart here.
It just starts to get away with her, and we spoke about Garcia in the first half. She'll chase down everything. She runs after balls that you think, why would she even bother? And she does it because this reason here, you know, she receives the ball with a mistake with a wide open net from 8 yards out. And
Garcia, and Garcia again! 2 for her, 4 for Manchester United, and party time for the Reds at Wembley now. They are storming to their first piece of silverware. The FA Cup is heading to Manchester United, and they are doing it in style. A red letter day. Manchester United win their first piece of major silverware, and those in red are going wild at Wembley after the heartbreak of last season against Chelsea.
Welcome back to Kings Meadow, where Chelsea lead 2-1 at the break in this FA Cup fifth round tie. Everton took a shock lead direct from the corner, Sarah Hongard in the 17th minute, but a Kat Macario penalty and an exquisite lob from Myra Ramirez deep into first half injury time means Chelsea lead. Mel Lawley has been warming up vigorously for Everton, so I think she's about to enter the fray, possibly in place of Emma Watson. We'll wait for confirmation. But Mel Lawley certainly out there now for Everton. Second half off and underway. Everton trail 2-1. Confirmation that it is Emma Watson that has been replaced at the break by Mel Lawley. And Cuthbert's pushed to the floor, but that's a fair challenge by Lawley, says referee Amy Ferns. And Mel Lawley bringing far greater experience than Emma Watson on her first start. She did have that shot deflected over the 19-year-old Scots, who's on loan from Manchester United, but she's replaced by the 30-year-old former England player, Mel Lawley. First substitution of the afternoon. Ramirez is fouled. Chelsea have a free kick. It's the final Women's FA Cup fifth round match being played. Reminder of what happened yesterday. The holders Manchester United 6-0 winners away to third tier Wolves. And Aston Villa winning a 5-goal thriller 3-2 against Brighton in an all WSL clash. And if you don't want to hear what else has happened today, if you're looking to view some highlights later, then just mute your device for a few moments. Liverpool needed two late goals to beat third tier Rugby Borough. Mary Herbinger in the 84th minute, Mia Enderby in added time. 2-0 winners at Rugby Borough. Crystal Palace 2-0 winners against Championship side Newcastle. Vierden and Larkin with the goals for them. Arsenal, the record 14-time winners, 2-0 at home to London City Lionesses of the Championship, Laia Kadina and Stina Blackstenius. Man City 3-1 winners against WSL rivals Leicester. WSL strugglers rather, Leicester. Honey Shaw with the third of City's goals. Here's Ramirez. And Sunderland 2-0 winners at Portsmouth in the all-championship clash. So this the final quarter-final place to be decided is Chelsea's at the moment. But Everton have a little under 45 minutes plus added time. There would be extra time and penalties if needed, of course. Charles, and Bjorn doesn't risk sending it back to Hampson. Instead, knocks it out for the Everton throw. Lawley. Back to Hayashi. Yelder, Everton's latest new signing, former Chelsea player. Hope the Everton captain, is going to go all the way through to Hampton. Hampton spins it out to Charles. James. Written Carnerid wins the corner. Corner from the position with which Sarah Holmgaard scored directly in the first half, 17th minute, to give Everton the lead with the first goal Chelsea have conceded in 2025. This year's seen them beat Charlton 4-0 in the FA Cup fourth round, West Ham 5-0 in the league. Bright with the half volley, and it's straight behind for a goal kick. 5-0 winners over Durham in the League Cup quarter-final. Beat Arsenal in that WSL title showdown 1-0, 1-0 also against Aston Villa. Last time out in the WSL, and in midweek 2-0 winners against West Ham in the League Cup semi-final. Not since Real Madrid took the lead in that final Champions League match in Spain back on the 17th of December. In a match Chelsea trailed in for 44 minutes before Kat Macario scored twice from the spot in the space of 5 minutes early in the second half to turn that game round. Not since then had Chelsea conceded. So credit to Everton for what they've done this afternoon. Took the lead, held on to it for almost 20 minutes before Macario equalised from the spots with what may have been a slightly fortuitous penalty. And then Ramirez with a sensational lob just before half-time to give Chelsea this 2-1 lead. Chelsea FA Cup winners on 5 occasions, of course, all under Emma Hayes, winning the first ever Wembley final against Notts County back in 2015. Ji So-hyun with the only goal that day. 3-1 winners over Arsenal in 2018, and then winning 3 consecutive finals from 2021 to 2023. But it's Manchester United who are the holders. Here's Macario. Macario floats it goalwards, but it was neither one thing nor the other in the end, and it drifts behind for a goal kick. Chelsea have reached 6 of the last 10 finals. They've won 4 of the last 7 FA Cups, including those 3 in a row. But these two teams have been in a combined 12 finals between them. Everton winning in 1989 when they were known as Liso Pacific, beating Friends of Fulham 3-2. And then in one of the greatest finals of all time, beating Arsenal in 2010 at the City Grounds 3-2 after extra time. Natasha Dowie with a couple that day, one in the final minute of extra time. Gargo with the layoff towards Holmgaard, but it's picked up by Lawrence and cleared. And then more recently, of course, Everton in the final, in that COVID delayed final in 2020 when they beat Chelsea in the quarterfinals and took Man City to extra time at Wembley, only to lose 3-1. Sandy McKeever had a great game in goal that day for Everton. Player of the match she was. Shame there could be no fans there to witness it. It was a great final. City's qualities hold in the end, in the added period. Mayashi to Lawley, the half-time sub, low ball in. Good ball in fact, to Hope, who lays it off, and it's Shot which goes horribly wrong. Nice little layoff by Hope. Schnois calls it all wrong. Carnerid, lovely ball to pick out Ramirez, who gets away from Yelda. This wide of the near post. She knows she has the quality to do better. You'd have backed her. Struck it with real venom. But couldn't get the shot on target. Everton have been FA Cup runners-up on 4 occasions, in fact, prior to winning that 1989 final as Liso Pacific. They lost the year before to Doncaster Bells, were beaten by Charlton in the 2004 final. And also lost to Arsenal in 2014, as well as to Manchester City in 2020. James. Lawrence. Johanna Rittenkarnerid. To Charles. James takes on Hope and lifts the ball towards the far post where Macario was lurking, but it finds its way through to Lawrence. Lawrence to Macario. Macario whips it in with pace, but Everton managed to clear. Charles picks it up off of Payne and rattles the shot away quickly, but it's wide at the far post from Niamh Charles. Scored against Charlton in the 4th round on her return from injury. Sandy Baltimore is now the replacement of Charles. The 24-year-old Frenchwoman. Started 9 games in the WSL. Chelsea make their first change of the afternoon. Schnois. Chelsea win it back with Walsh. Ramirez holds on to it as Lawley tries to dispossess her. Cuthbert back to Bright. Chelsea have had 66% possession. 14 shots to Everton's 3, 8 on target to Everton's 1. Bright back to Hampton, who was caught out from that corner, of which Holmgaard gave Everton a shock lead. Free kick to Chelsea. Yuan takes. Back To Bright. Out to Baltimore. Sandy Baltimore pulls it back to Macario. Hayashi got the block in, did really well. And Lawley prevents Walsh from picking it up. Everton throw. On guard takes. Chelsea win it back with Walsh. It's been a trademark Kira Walsh performance where so much of her work goes unnoticed. Such a composed and measured player in the heart of midfield. She's everywhere and nowhere. You look at the Chelsea squad now. Oh, Walsh with a lovely floated ball through to Carnerit. Holmgard did well, and I think the flag's gone up anyway, so offside. You think now with Kira Walsh and Naomi Girma, when she is fit to make her debut, Chelsea have the depth to challenge on all four fronts and to go for the biggest prize of all, the Champions League. Prize they've never won, the only prize they've never won. Their manager, Sonia Bonpastor, won it as a player and a manager with Lyon. She's got the Champions League know-how, and she's got the talents at her disposal in this squad. And you have to talk in terms of Chelsea having every chance of winning the quadruple. Something only Arsenal have done back in 2007. It would be the first of the WSL era. I think you'd have to say it's a taller order these days than it was, taking nothing away from what Arsenal achieved, which will always stand the test of time as a magnificent achievement. Here's Lawley with the ball in. Bright, oh, just about gets it away via Baltimore in the end. The Champions League does now have group stage. It does now have many more teams around the continent who have invested in women's football. It has a stronger top division than it had back in the day. Lawrence is holding a left boot. She's back on her feet. Ashley Lawrence, the 29-year-old Canadian who won the penalty with which Chelsea equalised. She was pulled by Emma Watson as she entered the right-hand side of the area. It looks on the replay to me that it was outside the box when the foul happened. Of course, there's no VAR in the Women's FA Cup until the final. Baltimore. There's no VAR largely in the women's game still these days, none in the WSL of course. And you could see on first viewing, I think, why Amy Ferns gave it. It looked like an illegal challenge, and Lawrence was charging into the box. And on first viewing, it appeared to be in the area because that's where Lawrence fell, but I think it was probably just outside the area. Baltimore to James. James flicks it through to Cuthbert, who quickly lays it off to Baltimore. Baltimore takes on Hope, gets the low cross in. Schnois is back to clear. Payne loses out to Baltimore and it's picked up by Cuthbert. Inside to Walsh. Ramirez. Bright to Bjorn. James loses out in the end to Ladd. Payne. Hope. Hayashi. Oh, and it's fallen to Rithinkarnerid. Still Johanna Rithinkarnerid. And it flicks up of Martina Fernandez. Oh, Rithinkarnerid wins it back and goes again. Cuthbert. Right. Everton just can't get the ball back at the moment. James to Macario. Returns it to James. He does well to keep it in. And almost picks out Rithinkarnerid at the far post. Lawrence. Cuthbert. Walsh. Baltimore. Baltimore into the box. Baltimore low to James. Walsh picks it up. Cuthbert. Rawley and Hayashi couldn't prevent it coming through to James, and in the end Brosnan is able to come and collect. And Chelsea are getting ready for a double substitution. Looks like Mushkin and Hamano getting ready to enter the fray as we approach the halfway point of the second half. Baltimore floats it through to Ramirez. Hope is back for Everton. And between Hope and Mielda and Schnois. It's now with Brosnan. He was unable to pick out Holmgaard. And Chelsea get ready for their double change. And Shukanushkin will replace Macario. The German, who's had such an impact this season. And Micah Hamano comes on for Johanna Rithinkarnerid. Micah Hamano has got 4 goals in all competitions this season. The Japan international, still only 20. Yushkin gets her first touch. 24-year-old German. She's scored 5 goals. Ramirez. Hamano with the ball in. Drops to Baltimore. Baltimore takes it beyond Payne, pulls it back towards James. And of course it was who scored the second goal, the clincher against West Ham in midweek in the League Cup semi-final. Chelsea have a penalty here, a free kick here. Not a penalty. We saw one of those earlier. That really would be a wrong decision. That one's certainly outside the box. My mind was just wandering. Well, Chelsea have been firmly in control of this game. In truth, even when they were trailing. But Everton are not out of it yet. Just the one goal in it. James trying to change that. Picks out Myra Ramirez. His header comes off the post. And Mike Hermano scores within 2 minutes of entering the pitch. In the right place, at the right time to just snaffle it home. And give Chelsea breathing space. And they now surely do look on course for the quarterfinals. Fine header from Ramirez. And Hermano followed it in to turn it home from a yard out. Substitutions for Everton. Heather Payne coming on. She was in the starting lineup last week against Leicester, the Republic of Ireland international. Elisa Stenovic is going to replace Hanoka Hayashi. Mjelder also coming off. And Justine van Havermaet comes on for Tony Payne. So Brian Sorensen may have been planning a couple of those substitutions anyway, but as his side go 3-1 down, he makes 3 substitutions. Heather Payne, Elisa Stenovic and Justine van Havermaet all coming on. But is this now a task too far from Everton to have to chase down a 2-goal lead against a team that's won every game they played this season, but for one, a 1-1 draw at Leicester just before Christmas. Everton have a free kick though, which Hayley Ladd will take. Justine van Havermaet, Heather Payne and Elisa Stenovic on for Myra Mjelder, who had a decent debut. Hanoka Hayashi and Tony Payne, the 3 have departed. And Heather Payne can't keep that in, and it'll be a Chelsea throw. James. Oh, lovely little back heel to Ramirez. And it's with Cuthbert. Chelsea have now scored 71 goals this season in all competitions. Ramirez now has 7 for the season. James. Lauren James, can she get her name on the score sheet? Not far away. Just didn't get the angle quite right. Did all the hard work. And then rather shanked it wide. Romano now has 5 for the season, and Macario, she's got 6, 3 of them from the spot, including the one this afternoon that pulled Chelsea level back in the 36th minute. A lot's happened since then, and they are now firmly in control of this Adobe Women's FA Cup 5th round tie. They've got 1 foot in the quarter-final. Everton need a response quickly. Time against them now as we head towards the final 15. And they trail by 2. Ramirez. Back with Brosnan. Ramirez charges her down. She sends it out to Ladd. He just gets it away. But Van Havermaet loses out, and now it's with Ramirez. Ramirez with the low shot. Brosnan palms it wide. Well, Cuthbert with a fearsome tackle on Van Havermaet. I think it was probably going to drift just wide of that near post, but Brosnan wasn't to know that. She was down quickly to turn it behind for a Chelsea corner. Amano. Back to Baltimore. James hangs it up and too high over the bar. Another substitution for Chelsea as Orion Jean-Francois replaces Kira Walsh, and Aggie Beaver-Jones comes on for Myra Ramirez. So Everton have made their 5 subs. Aggie Beaver-Jones, who had that really successful spell on loan at Everton at the end of the season before last, really helps her in her development. She spoke recently about how coming on and scoring has become her trademark, more often used as a sub than a starter. Beaver-Jones. Myra Ramirez and Kira Walsh lead to a standing ovation. Ramirez in particular for her performance and the goal which gave Chelsea the lead just before the break. Orion Jean-Francois, the 23-year-old French woman, joined last summer from PSG. Has come on 5 times in the WSL. Hasn't started a WSL game yet. And she'll get more cup minutes under her belt this afternoon. She's on the ball now, Jean-Francois. Hope will get there for Everton and knock it out of play for the Chelsea throw. Right to Baltimore, lovely touch from Baltimore to Beaver-Jones. Beaver-Jones with the through ball, brilliantly weighted to James. Still Lauren James, oh, Amano was sliding in at the far post and just wasn't quite able to connect. It was beautiful build-up play from Chelsea. And so close, Amano, to a quick-fire double. Came on in the 69th minute, did Hamano. Scored in the 71st, and almost, she's on the ball again here, almost got a second. Ladd holds on to it under pressure from Beaver-Jones. The goat has been kept quiet by Chelsea this afternoon. Into the final 10 plus added time we go. Chelsea on course for the quarterfinals. James with the layoff to Beaver Jones finds Baltimore. Baltimore tries to take it beyond Van Havermaet, loses her footing rather. And it goes behind for the goal kick. Payne will take the throw in. Final change for Everton as Caroline Olesen comes on for them. The 20-year-old Dane replacing Katja Schnoich. Chelsea 1 foot firmly in the quarterfinals. The draw will take place on Tuesday at 6:30 on the Adobe Women's FA Cup YouTube channel. Beaver Jones looks to get on to the end of Cuthbert's ball. Still Beaver Jones, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. She claims the corner. Charlton midfielder Carla Humphrey is going to be making the draw along with Dulwich Hamlet player and DJ Lucy Monkman at 6:30 on Tuesday, and it looks like Chelsea are going to be among the balls to be pulled out. Quarter-finals scheduled to be played on the 8th and 9th of March in a month's time. For around 20 minutes this afternoon, Everton fancied their chances, the 20 minutes in which they led through Sarah Holmgaard's corner, which went straight in. And Kat Macario equalised from the spot 9 minutes before half-time after Emma Watson pulled the shirt of Ashley Lawrence. Potentially just outside the box, Amy Thurns pointed to the spot. Macario took it expertly. Brosnan, who had made 2 fine saves earlier, got close to it, went the right way. And then just before half-time, she was caught a little bit out of position, having come for a long ball. Ramirez got onto the end of it, lobbed it over Brosnan for Chelsea's second in the second minute of added time. And then in the 71st minute, Maika Hamano, who'd only been on the field for 2 minutes, converting from a yard out after Ramirez's header came back off the base of the post. Natalie Bjorn, former Everton defender, just requiring treatment here. This was the turning point, really. Emma Watson on Lawrence. And I think that foul is just outside the box. Obviously, the referee only gets one look at it. This was Macario's brilliantly taken penalty. I think in full time, in real time, you can see why Amy Ferns pointed to the spot. Players going at pace. Lawrence falls inside the area. And if a foul continues into the area, it is a penalty. But to me, it looks like that foul took place pretty much in its entirety just outside the area. But we do now analyse every decision almost as if every referee has the benefit of VAR, which of course they don't here today. And many would say that's a good thing. I think a lot of people enjoyed yesterday in the men's FA Cup, no VAR. Slightly changed in the men's FA Cup this year that it won't be introduced until the 5th round. Lawley, can she give Everton hope? Gets under the shot and it flicks up off a Bright for an Everton corner. Well, if they could make this one count as spectacularly as they did with Holmgaard's in the 17th minute, which went directly in, then we would be in for a pretty exciting final 5 here. What can Everton do from the corner? It's hung up towards the back post and it's beyond Hope, who has managed to keep it in. But in fact, it did just go behind the line, and that's a real shame for Everton. Could have made the closing stages very interesting. I don't think Natalie Bjorn has yet rejoined the action, so Chelsea temporarily at least down to 10 players. Baltimore is down and it'll be a free kick to Chelsea. Well, someone at Chelsea's got the stopwatch out and has worked out that Amano's goal came 124 seconds after she came on. How about that for an instant impact? Bjorn still not back on, so it's quite possible she's not able to continue, and that Chelsea, having made all their subs, will have to see out this game with 10 players. Would be entitled to make a 6th, of course, if it was to go into extra time, but that looks very, very unlikely. Given away, picked up by Payne. Still Heather Payne. James does really well to get back and win it back. Baltimore. Right. Into the final minute of the regulation 90. Amano with the header to Beaver Jones. Beaver Jones powers through. Still Beaver Jones, and well, she was caught by Hope. And Amy Ferns does point to the spots. Well, that one did look like a much more clear-cut penalty. And Amy Ferns took her time, the referee, to point to the spot. Hope is down injured. I think Amy Ferns is just heading towards her assistant. As Beaver Jones charged through, well, Hope caught her, and that was a clear penalty. Amy Fern blew, but she didn't signal for quite some time. She then pointed to the spot. She's then gone to check with her assistants. I believe the fourth official is set to signal for 6 minutes of added time. Beaver Jones looks keen to take it. Millie Bright's got the ball now. So often we see the top sides do this now, where a different player will put it on the spot to ensure that there's no distractions for the taker. This to put the icing on the cake for Chelsea. It's going to be Sandy Baltimore. She's scored 3 times this season, none of them penalties. And Brosnan's already stood up to 1 penalty this afternoon. Macario beats her. This to top off a fine afternoon's work for the WSL leaders and make absolutely certain of an FA Cup quarter-final place. Baltimore takes her time and just gets it beyond Brosnan, who got a touch to it. Sandy Baltimore has her 4th goal of the campaign. Her first in the FA Cup. Just squeezed it home. Brosnan did get a touch. (4-1) to Chelsea. They just have so much talent at their disposal. Two substitutes among the scorers this afternoon in the second half. Micah Hamano just over 2 minutes after coming on. Sandy Baltimore right at the end from the spots. And an afternoon that started so well for Everton is going to finish with the defeat that many would have expected at the start of the game. The bad news for them is their next opponents are Chelsea in the WSL. Cuthbert on Ladd. There's a Chelsea goal kick. We return to WSL action next weekend. It will be Chelsea home again to Everton at 2 o'clock next Sunday. Arsenal host Tottenham in the North London derby, 12:30 the same day. Manchester United home to the bottom club Crystal Palace, fighting for their lives to stay up in their first season as a WSL club. Leicester against Aston Villa in an East meets West Midlands derby. West Ham at home to Brighton. Man City, the evening kickoff, host Liverpool. All 6 WSL games taking place on Sunday next weekend. Baltimore with the layoff, but it's given away. Ulison, lovely ball by her, and Van Habermaat for a moment looked like she'd been caught by Bright, but she was straight back up onto her feet. With 5 minutes into the sixth added, there'll be a little bit more for the delay in the run up to the penalty. Is there going to be a late consolation for Everton? Gago was never going to get on the end of that one. And it's with Hampson, who's in no hurry. Everton were unlucky not to beat Chelsea last year in the quarter-final, hit the woodwork twice, only lost 1-0. Not quite so close this time round in the end. Got their shock early lead, did give us something to talk about, did give Chelsea something to think about, something to respond to, but yet again, Chelsea pass every test that comes their way, and so often they pass it with something to spare. Payne. Headed down and wide by Gago. Head in her hands. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of occasions where she's going to make the sort of impression she did last week with 2 goals against Leicester between now and May. It wasn't to be this afternoon. Quality as told in the end. Romano leaves it to Lawrence. Yushkin. And it's back with Hampson. Bright. Baltimore does really well, uses all of her strength, turns and lays it off to James. Jean-Francois knocks it back to Hampson, and Amy Ferns blows the full-time whistle, and the 5-time winners Chelsea are comfortably through to this season's Adobe Women's FA Cup quarter-finals. The quadruple charge goes on. Everton bow out. There's plenty of promise for the remainder of the WSL season for them, given their January signings. It wasn't to be today for them. They did, though, make it interesting. We can look back at how, with the highlights from this 5th round tie. Sarah Holmgaard with the Olympico corner, scoring direct to give Everton a shock 17th minute lead, her 2nd goal of the season. Ashley Lawrence pulled by Watson. Amy Fern pointed to the spots. Kat Macario for the 3rd time this season successful from the spots. 1-1 in the 36th minute. And when Courtney Brosnan was tempted to come, well, Myra Ramirez finished expertly. Sensational goal to give Chelsea the lead 2 minutes into added time at the end of the first half. James's floated free kick, headed down by Ramirez off the post, and Micah Hamano, who'd only been on for 124 seconds, turned it home. 3-1 in the 71st minute. An indisputable penalty when Hope impeded Aggie Beaver-Jones, another substitute, and also off the bench, Sandy Baltimore squeezing home a left-footed penalty. Brosnan got a touch. Baltimore with her 4th goal of the season, her 1st in the FA Cup. Chelsea through to the last 8. Thank you for joining us at Kings Meadow. It's been a thoroughly entertaining 5th round tie, and it's finished Chelsea 4, Everton 1.